Okay, so I get to close. Thank you guys for just being here, being in it, and attending with such great intent, with the desire to turn things around, to end the year strong. For those that were at the mastermind group that we had for Elite, you know that there's that champagne flute waiting for you if you repeat Elite. This year we're going to be together at leadership next year, and we're going to toast the fact that you repeated it. And for those of you who want to be elite, for those of you who want to continue to come to leadership, and I think it's cool, bleeding Team Beachbody Blue. I never really wanted to make you bleed. I'm sorry, but apparently you have to bleed. But it's just great how you guys embody the spirit of togetherness and community, and it's really transcended what I think any of us at corporate could have imagined would have happened with this. But the way it came together and what it embodies now wasn't something that just happened like magic. And as you go out, as we wrap this up, you get the party tonight, and you're going to get back to work Sunday and Monday. Yes, I did say Sunday, and I meant it. And when you get back to work, we've got all these things now. We've got the team spirit promotion, we've got core to force, we've got year-end resolution, we've got the Beachbody Health Bet coming. We've got all this great stuff, the new features inside Beachbody On Demand, new recipes and Fixate, new workouts, 21-day fix workouts, new country heat workouts, new core to force workouts, all this cool stuff going on. And you might think, oh my gosh, all I got to do is talk about it. All I have to do is post about it. Because if you build it, they will come. It's like a field of dreams we've created here, right? Well, really? I don't think so. That's not the way it works, and that's not the way it's going to work, I know from me. And either fortunately or unfortunately, I know that I'm going to have to earn it. And that has been the way my life has gone. That's the way my career has been. I've never gotten an easy call up to varsity. The first time I got cut from a basketball team, I had to, in junior high, I had to go to the coach and ask him what I could do next year to try to make it on the team. And I talked to, his name was Mr. Boylan, and I talked to Mr. Boylan. I was like, well, you kind of look like you're always going to fall over. I'm like, okay, I'll work on that, coach. But I told him how I was going to work on it, and that was, I guess, 7th grade. And one of the kids got injured, and so he put me on the team a couple weeks later. I'm not an if you build it, they will come kind of guy. I can't create a P90X and have it produced and then put it on TV and it automatically gets picked up and just is a $1 million seller. That doesn't happen for me. It just doesn't. And fortunately or unfortunately, I think one of the things that's done throughout my life is it has forced me to constantly sharpen my tools. And that means that because you signed up for this ride with me, we're going to constantly have to sharpen our tools together. We're going to have to look beyond this month and this week. We're going to have to look to the end of the year. We're going to have to look 2-3 years out. We're going to have to constantly be the ones creating opportunities for each other, creating ideas, creating energy and enthusiasm. Because look, let's look at it in the real world. If you build it, they will come. That field's going to stay empty unless somebody invites people to play on it. Somebody has to take the initiative to get people to that basketball court. A leader puts the teams together. Say, I'm going to play pickup. We're going to play every weekend. A leader gets people to go to that tennis court and play. A leader gets people put together a beach volleyball team. We're going to go play. That thing's going to stay empty unless somebody takes the initiative. That playground, you can even see it when you're watching your kids. The playground, they sort of mess around, but then there's this one kid that makes something magical happen on that playground. That kid is the one that's going to be a leader. Or he's going to be the one that breaks your kid's arm. I broke my arm on the playground, so I'm like reliving it. That blender and that shake, is magical. And so many people right now are sitting with lines of bags on their countertops because the if you build it, they will come mentality, if you buy it, it will blend itself mentality is just not working for them. That's why we have the My Challenge Tracker app. You have to remind them. You got to find a way to lead them to that playground. You have to find a way to lead them to their own health, to their own success, to their own goals. I love everything that I've heard the people say today. And it's amazing how together we sort of literally, and we don't commiserate about this stuff, we sort of end up and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to reference kind of the same thing. Body Beast, Pump, P90X, Asylum, 21-Day Fix Extreme, Hammer and Chisel. Those programs aren't just going to do themselves. We got to invite people to do them. The coach is who helps people get results. And that's who you are, and that's what you do with your teams. You got to teach them this stuff now. You got to remind them that the whole reason we have an opportunity is because of the problem that exists out there of a lack of initiative, a lack of leadership, inactivity, and a food chain that is just depleted of nutrition. Coaches help people get results. That's what we're about. That's what we got to do as leaders. And I totally understand, because I live it every day, that it is hard. And Melanie said it great. Melanie said it great, that even though it's hard, the champion is going to be that person. How they treat people, that's going to dictate whether they deserve to get through the hard part into success. How hard they work, what kind of plan they have. I'm so impressed with the plans the monthly tempo that Melanie presented. It's like, wow, like if it's possible to succeed with this business, she deserves to succeed with this business. You just look at that as a leader, as a person who wants to achieve success, and you go, oh, I see the difference now. Like I sat back there and I'm like, I gotta start organizing myself better. She deserves that success if she's operating inside an opportunity that can be successful. The good news is, I truly believe we are operating inside an opportunity that can be successful. But the people who are going to succeed with it are the ones who deserve it, because they're organized, they're smart, they pay attention to what creates the substance in that, and they motivate themselves. They find a way to stay motivated and stay positive when it is so easy to lose hope. It is so easy to see volume going down, or a few months of difficult headwinds, or coming out of summit, or losing a diamond or two. Like, just things can happen. Winners are going to be the people who find a way to self-motivate and find a way to do that personal development, sort of the mystery vital behavior that is so easy to ignore and so easy to not push your team to do, and so important for the real winners to actually do. I have my own little bit of personal development. I've always got a few books on my Kindle that I'm going through, and I look at what I'm challenged with in my life and things. But, and I've mentioned this in other presentations that I've done, I also have this sort of private entrance. Well, it used to be private. Before we had the first floor of Beachbody headquarters, like there was multiple offices on the first floor. And I found this sort of secret entryway in the back that I was the only one that used. And it wasn't painted, and it was, you know, it's just like a maintenance entry. And so I had to move my parking spot from underneath in the basement back into the back of the building. And I put a sign, like my parking spot has my goals on it. So when I park, I see what my goal is for the Shakeology file. I see what my goal is for our protein, and what are we, 10? Beachbody on Demand, Shakeology file, and Beachbody Live. So I've got them, like, instead of my name, they had my name on it, and then they had El Jefe and like that. And then I said, just put my goals on it. So literally, I drive up and people are like, what is this? I was like, those are my goals. I park in front of them every day. And then when I walk in, I walk through my own, like, you know how you see athletes, like college athletes and stuff, and they go in through the tunnel as they're going out to the game, and they'll like have these signs up on the wall, and they'll like tap the same sign. So I went on Amazon and I bought these super thick Sharpies, And one day I was walking out and I had a quote in my head, and I just took my super thick Sharpie and I wrote it on the wall. And I was like, I thought that was my little maintenance staircase. Nobody's going to see this. And I literally got a call from HR. I got a call from HR. They're like, is this your handiwork? And I'm like, yeah. You got an issue? They're like, no, I just wanted to check. It's an awesome quote. Thanks, bye. Walk that back. But it's actually turned into a cool thing. So whether I'm walking out of the office or walking into the office, if I've got something from my prior personal development, I'll put it up on the wall. So this is how it's sort of coming together. And now that we have the first floor, I share it with people, so I have to clean my language up a little bit. But so I just when I so I've got stuff. I've posted Work From Your Heart. That's in the back. But there's a couple of them that I wanted to share today because I think it's meaningful in terms of what you're about to go out there and do. And it's funny, like I said, that both Melanie and Danielle mentioned champion. This is one of the quotes that I put up there one day. It was, I never read the story of a champion where easy was a theme. And it's like, man, life is hard. Like, desire and motivation and pressure, and the better you do, the better you got to do next year, and that's more pressure. Like, it's just hard. But as I was listening to Danielle talk about Rocky and about how it's easy to get complacent and then you start to change things up and your ego takes over and stuff, and I got very lucky that has never been my thing. Like, I'm way far away, like years and milestone upon milestone of goal away from where I am. However, I know that where I want to go, what I want to achieve, how many people I want to help, how many problems I want to see if we can solve, really complex, difficult problems, psychological, behavioral, physical, health. What can we do with as we create this opportunity and free cash flow and profits? How can we reinvest it and put it back into creating this Taj Mahal of helping people? That's going to be hard. Those problems exist because they're problems. And every time it's difficult, I got to remember that to break the 4-minute mile that nobody else can do, I have to be able to see past it, that we can do it, that we can create a digital platform that is so attractive that people want to go and they want to communicate and they want to support each other, they want to applaud each other, that they would do it without a comp plan. And then when we add a comp plan to it, then everybody flocks to it and they want to be a part of it, and we take it international, it grows big, and we add new things and new workouts and people like it, and sometimes they fail and sometimes they succeed, and I don't know, we're just going to keep working. It's going to be hard, but we're going to succeed because we're not going to quit. And that's another thing I have on my wall. I was just like, it was like, this is one thing, I must have been listening to the radio or something, and I was just like, whining to myself as I'm sitting in traffic, and I'm like, oh my God, it's so hard, I'm under so much pressure, and I've got a headache, and I'm exhausted, and it's just like, oh, poor me and my Tesla, it's driving itself. And by the time I pulled up to my little parking spot and my little nameplate there and my goals, I sort of looked at it, and I was like, there's only one way for me to succeed in this business. Just one way. A million things underneath that one way, but there's only one way that I'm going to succeed. I can't quit. Like every day, as hard as it's going to be, as difficult as it is, I have to find a way to visualize past that hard thing to what I want. I got to visualize past this headwinds, and I got to be able to get there without abusing people, without putting people down, without being angry at the way things turn out. And I got to find a way. I just can't quit. And I have to maintain my composure, and I got to maintain my positive attitude, and I got to find a way to see, I got to visualize what it's like to have 1 million coaches, not 100,000 or 200,000 coaches who are a part of a network of 1 million coaches where most of them are discount coaches. But 1 million coaches, I got to visualize 1 million coaches using that Challenge Tracker app and helping people do their workouts, and super trainers that are helping hold people accountable and going out and doing events and creating great programming, and master trainers that are certifying people and getting more and more people and creating live workouts so that there's this ecosystem of people working out at home and working out in gyms, and formulators and nutritionists creating solutions for people so that they're healthier and more energy without stimulating it and without drugs. Like, I just got to visualize that. And I get so excited. And then I think about what your job is, and I think about how do I help you see past the hard part? And then I remember the book. And I think, if I could just remind them about the power of creating that book, like Danielle said, commit to a program yourself, drink that shake, post about it, but work on your book. You've got to call people. Sunday, Monday, every day this week, call people. We've got so much work to do. We've got to talk to people one-on-one so that they really know it's important to us. It's more important than an Instagram post or a Facebook post. Call them if there's some reason that they need to forgive you, or you need to forgive them, or you just need to reconnect. Call them. Talk to them. Treat people better. Tell them about the exciting stuff that we have. This is not the field of dreams. The Team Spirit competition is an opportunity for you to pull your team together and reignite what this whole thing is about. The launch of Core to Force, the sneak peek, is an opportunity for us to give $250,000 to big brothers and big sisters. But you got to move people. You got to invite people to that field of dreams. The launch of that on November 1st is an opportunity for people to feel badass, to feel totally empowered, but you got to invite them to do that program with you in the My Challenge Tracker app. The year-end resolution, that's an opportunity for people to end the year healthier than they started the year. Boom! It's mind-blowing how great this year can end right now. Even though it's like, volume's down, whatever, screw it. Let's see how great the year can end. And then we got the Beachbody Health Bet to start off 2017. Invite. Be the proof the product works. Recognize people for getting into Success Club. Recognize people for drinking a freaking shake and boosting it with greens. Recognize them for that. You had fiber? Good to know. I'll see you a little bit later. We're going to be partners on purpose through the end of the year. And we're going to see past the end of the year to the January Health Bet. And we're going to see past the January Health Bet to a huge 2017. We're going to see past a huge 2017 to a huge 2020. How long are you going to be in this? Live it that way. Don't live it week to week. Don't live it like you don't have a lease for a year or 2 years or 3 years on this business that you've started. You didn't start this on a month-to-month basis. You started this to change your life, the whole thing. So live it that way. Don't live it a little. We are partners on purpose to help people achieve their goals to lead healthy, fulfilling lives. That means I want you to live a healthy, fulfilling life, which means I got to push you to see farther than the end of October. You got to see farther than November and December. Those matter, but you got to see the culmination, the compound effect of what we can achieve. And that slope will keep going up. That slope will keep going up if we see higher. We're not going to play to here. We're going to play up to here. And I'm short, and I can almost reach it. We're just going to keep working, keep visualizing, keep hoping, keep managing our attitudes, and we're just going to help people. And we're going to keep building that book. You're in that book. I'm in that book. Our trainers are in that book. Our master trainers, our certified trainers, our friends and family members can be in that book. And it's going to be hard. And it's going to be worth it. And now's when we get to work. Thank you for coming to leadership. I so do appreciate what you're doing. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.